Wrestling Writers Federation. Join us now for a fast-paced competition of professional wrestling, featuring the top stars from the world.
Matches at this point should have been somewhere around 35 to 40 minutes wrestling. He's a very defensive wrestler, but like I say, he's rushing his style a little bit, and he had me going pretty good. He wants to win very badly because now he's the one that's got to beat me for my title. It's not like wrestling him for the world title because he is world champion no longer. Harley Race has that title, and he's in a hurry to get it. He's making a few mistakes, as you can see here. He had me going. We were both sweating profusely. He was real slick. He was hard to get a hold of because we'd wrestled so long. So here you see I almost got him in a sunset flip, and he's trying to fight out of it now. I'm trying to muscle him back down and get the count, and he's trying his best to reach that rope and get it, but he got off balance here. And you're going to see I get a near fall right here. I finally got him on his back and almost got the 3 count right here, but he kicked out.
Very close. Very close count.
It was a very close count. It was a near fall. I almost had it, but, you know, I was just kind of laying back and playing his game because in this match, I was a champion. I was a Southeastern champion. He was after my belt. So, you know, I have to apologize for some of the things I did because, you know, you got the Jackson Jaws sometime. You can take just so much, and you're going to have to fight fire with fire. And he did some things unbecoming of a champion, so I did them right back to him. I was doing them to others. I was letting him do it first, but I wasn't the last one going to be hurt, I can tell you that. It got really rough here. Like I said, we were both sweating like the devil. He's got a super chop here. He like to took my head off with that, put me right on the flat of my back.
Is he still in great condition, Bob?
He's in super condition. I could tell that. I could still feel the power and the strength. After 40 minutes of wrestling, he felt just like he did when we started, only he was perspiring heavily just like I was.
What you did was you really sent him off someplace else to fight another victim that he might be able to wrestle Race.
That's right. He's going to have to go somewhere else. He came here to get my title, put him in the driver's seat to wrestle Race, and he didn't get my title. So he's got to go somewhere else now. Right there you can see he almost had me beat. It was a tough battle up and down, but, you know, I'd get to feeling bad and had the wind took out of me. I'd hear somebody on that front row say, "Come on, Bob," and by golly, I'm going to do it for them and me too. Now, right here, I didn't know which way he was going. I felt like I was on Mars somewhere. And when he dropped me, I wished I was on Mars because it took all the air out of me.
Tremendous falling. It must have been about 8 or 9 feet coming down, hit that mat that very hard. This is one of his favorite maneuvers, too. He's beat a lot of...
Exactly right. Here you see he went for that famous figure 4 lead lock, and I hooked him right there, 1, 2, 3, and that was it. And the nature boy, Ric Flair, had to go elsewhere. He didn't get the Southeastern title. He'll have to go somewhere, get somebody else's title so he can meet Harley Race. I was real happy about it. I want to thank everybody that backed me up. It was probably one of the most important matches of my professional career. I'm still the champion, and I'm going to do my dead level best to remain the champion. Bullet Power.
All right. We'll get you to come out a little bit later on and take a look at some film involving the Midnight Express if you can come back out and do it.
My pleasure, Charlie.
All right. A lot of action coming your way in the next hour, and, you know, taking a look at that move that coming out of that figure 4. It seems that Bullet Bob and everyone who has been around professional wrestling knows a lot of Flair's moves. I think the old Bullet had that one in store for Mr. Flair when he went for that figure 4. It was a great count. I've never seen that before.
It happened once before in Miami when I think Terry Funk defeated Jack Briscoe in Miami. Same maneuver.
I'll tell you what, Bullet Bob had it in for Mr. Flair, and a great win for Bob. Let's go to the ring right now. Our first match in the ring. Introducing from Marietta, Georgia, the Southeastern Tag Team Champions, the Armstrong brothers, Brad and Scott. Their opponents today from the state of Georgia, Ted Allen. His partner from Australia, Sir Norman Frederick Charles III.
Tag team action here today, Charlie, and a lot of experience in the ring and a lot of youthfulness. All right, here we go with Brad Armstrong and Ted Allen. Allen's very aggressive. Oh, a switch. Nice switch. Takes his man over with that arm, controls him. Into a scissor and out.
You know what we were talking about a moment ago? Super Olympia came in, like to remind wrestling fans about an upcoming match in the arena, Dickie, and it will be a non-sanctioned match, meaning by that
very dangerous matches when you have a non-sanctioned.
Well, no governing body of professional wrestling is putting their seal or approval behind this.
Right.
Neither the National Wrestling Alliance, Southeastern Championship Wrestling, or its parent company, International Sports Incorporated, the blindfold match. In this situation that goes back on television a few weeks when Robert Fuller was blinded, a lot of bad blood, shall we say, between he and Mr. Olympia.
What you're saying is Olympia came out here and dropped his man. I put it on. You cannot see through it. It's got double lining in it. So he's actually asking Robert Fuller in his state at this time that he cannot see very well to put this mask on, and he's wearing a mask and they'll wrestle each other blindfolded. You're saying that.
That's exactly what we have coming up in the arena. You'll know, Dickie, there's one hole in the mask for the mouth so that breath can be obtained. You can breathe through this one hole in the mask, and that's it. You're cut off as far as sight is concerned.
I know that Scott Armstrong was doing some nice arm drags there. He's in the ring with Norman Frederick Charles III at this particular moment. Well, you can say one thing about the Australians recently winning that race with the ships.
The former America's Cup, is that what it was?
Right. I understand they sailed every 4 or 5 years, and it's the first time in over 130 years that Australia takes that victory back to Australia. And Norman Charles was bragging in the dressing room that his life will change now also, and his ability will change in the ring too.
Okay, that remains to be seen. A good move by Mr. Allen going around to that hammerlock, coming up under his man for the play. Good reversal by Scott Armstrong.
Elbow into the side and a flying mare. Oh my goodness, oh that hurts. Especially when you least expect it, Charlie. Now the boy's hurt. He's hurt bad. He better get to that corner and tag out. Well, he's there. Smart thinking by Scott Armstrong. Brad's in. Forearm blow.
Side of the head, Brad Armstrong takes Charles in. Good drop kick.
Perfect drop kick. Right up in the air, and he has control over his feet and places them where he wants to place them. He can put it in your eye, on your chin, on your shoulder. When you're up that high, you have those knees bent just slightly, you can control your force.
Side headlock by Norman Frederick Charles. Tags in Ted Allen. Good right connection to the midsection by Allen. Slows up Brad again. Allen making that connection. Now beginning to come to life in offense against Brad Armstrong. Allen takes his man out to center of the ring, right to the chin. High body drop by Ted Allen. Covers his man, not quite enough to put Brad Armstrong out. The tag is made with Norman Frederick Charles. Brad scrambles, makes the tag with Scott.
Scott comes in. I noticed that one of the iron bars fell from underneath the ring on that backdrop.
Referee Larry Brock has his hands full now. All 4 men in the ring at the same time.
Loosen up that ring some. Those ropes are kind of loose, and that one iron bar is laying down. He's calling for an elbow. Oh, and he let him have with a front elbow. I'd have thought it would have been a side elbow. Beautiful drop kick by Scott Armstrong.
Allen goes out on the floor.
Backdrop.
Scott right into his man again.
What a nice drop kick. That's too beautiful drop kick by that young man.
Cat in that corner, waiting.
My goodness. Well, I'll tell you one thing. He's been practicing. He has really come a long way. That's the first time I've seen him drop kick, and I will say they're almost perfect. Perfect enough for a window.
You're right. Takes the wind out of Sir Norman Frederick Charles III, and your winner of the match.
Bob, it must do you proud.
Feel real good about watching my boys, especially winning. I've taught them that, winning's not everything. It's how you play the game. But, brother, when you can play the game right and win, too, there's no better feeling.
Right.
Now, a while ago we saw when I beat Rick Flair, which I'm very proud of. Congratulations, boys.
Good win.
Very good. Very good. I want to kind of show you what happened a little later on. Rick Flair was in kind of cahoots with the Express there, and they had made certain statements that no secret could pass it. So I would like to put on film now exactly what they did. Now, the match was over when this happened. I'll show you what kind of guts the Express has got anyway if you'd ask him to roll that film. Here they come. Now, see, this is their favorite pastime, a 3-on-1 situation. And here's Brother Ric Flair. He's not happy about it either, and you're going to see what happens here. They're going to try to bust me up real good and end up doing just that.
This is after that match you had with Flair.
That's exactly right, and here they come, the Express and Flair, who seem to form some kind of dastardly partnership, if you'll excuse my expression, and they're doing a job on me, no doubt about it. They want to put me down and hold me down, and that's exactly what they're doing. You can see when I'm going to the top rope now, they're jumping and knocking my brains out, and thank goodness some of my boys were watching. and came down. The match was already over. They had no right in the building, in the ringside area for darn sure. And you can see everything's breaking loose, and finally somebody has to take matters in their own hands. And thank goodness they got them off of me. I'd probably be in the hospital over here today. I feel like I should have been anyway. But you know, there's an old saying, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. You got to keep remembering that too. Now, if we can get out of that film, I want to show you what happened a little later. I was out of action. My boys had a match with the Express, and in this film you're going to see Norvell Austin for the last time because the man's out with a dislocated shoulder. Right. And already they've brought in Honky Tonk Ferris. Yes. I saw him last week in the arenas. He wasn't even supposed to be there. Sneaked out of the crowd, knocked my running lights, crossed them real good, and I want to show you just what happened on this film right here. You can see them ganging up. Now, you can't see, but in the right of your film, they've both got one of my boys over there trying to knock their brains out, and you just have to fight fire with fire, like I say, so I got the outside man. And what this is going to turn into is one of them old-fashioned Irish Donnybrook's, I believe they call it, fighting all day and singing on the ground or whatever you want to say about it, but it ended up in the crowd all over the building. And I'll tell you one thing. I'm really sick and tired of the Express's ways. We're going to put things to a stop. We're going to go with six-man action. It's been coming, so we're going to go, you know, with all 6 men instead of a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1 situation. We're going to get all the Armstrongs in one bunch. We're going to get all the Express in one bunch, and we're going to get down and get it done. Somebody's going to get hurt, but we're going to see that we ain't the last ones hurt. At least we hope that's the way it happens. They're tough boys, no doubt about it. They got this new man now. Right away, Norvell Austin's out, and right away, Honky Tonk. But like I said before, they're going to call him Honky Donkey because he's a jackass if I ever saw one, just like the rest of them. This really got out of hand. They were fighting all in the back of the building, so, you know, something's got to come to a stop. When things get this out of control, somebody's going to get hurt. I'm hoping it's not one of us. I don't want anybody to think that I'm a bad daddy for putting my boys in this situation, but they feel the same way that I do, that we got to put a stop to things.
Well, you know, a promoter's dream to see something like this because he says this is put them all in the ring. So you're talking about 6-man tag team action coming up.
That's exactly right. Armstrong's in the Express. And right today now, because of the new Honky Tonk Ferris, last week sneaking up, today I want him one-on-one, Charlie. I've challenged him one-on-one, and I want to ask my boys right now, boys, just stay out of the action. See that they stay out of the action. Just let me have him one-on-one, and I'm going to jack his jaw.
Okay, that'll be our television main event. Bob Armstrong takes on Honky Tonk Wayne Ferris.
Your way this Tuesday night in Mobile.
All 6 men in the ring at the same time. There will be no disqualification as the Midnight Express Incorporated will face the team of the Armstrongs. Let's hear their comments right now.
You know, true to form, the Express went out, and their newest member came from the very depths of the ocean. And we know what lies on the bottom of the ocean. Norvell Austin is gone. They just shelled out the money, and here comes punk rock Wayne Ferris. Pardon me to term an old phrase, skunk rock Wayne Ferris, the man who calls himself Honky Tonk Man. Well, brother, I'm tired of you people using me for a batting practice. You know, you hit me in the head with everything. Came right in Mobile. Yeah, you were smart. You pulled a good one, no doubt about it. But we just lost a battle, not a war. Now the war zone, all 6 men at the same time in the ring with a no disqualification. Now we're going to see how good your new man is when it's nose to nose, toes to toes, and ain't no sneaking up in the back and cracking me on the head with something and knocking me doopy. You be there in Mobile Tuesday night, because when the Armstrongs and the Express meet, brother, Mobile will never be the same because the Mobile Bullet and the boys will be there. Bob Armstrong.
Yeah, Bob Armstrong. Let me tell you about Bob Armstrong. Bob Armstrong, you said one thing that's true in that whole interview. You said the Express keeps shelling out the bucks and the people keep on coming. Well, Daddy, you right, because I'm going to tell you, as long as we shell out those bucks and keep shelling them out, we got a waiting list about as long as your skinny legs. Now, I'm here to tell you, we beat you right in the middle of the ring last week. We're going to beat you right in the middle this week. Ferris has already proved that he can take up the slack. You know Randy Rose, my cousin, can do the same. And I've proven myself not only to the people in the building, to the fans, to the police, to the wrestlers, to the parking lot attendant, and everybody else there. Mobile's my town. That's the town we're coming into for a 6-man tornado match, and that's the town that'll never be the same. Tell them about it. Bob Armstrong, I didn't hit you with nothing. You lying to them good people in Mobile, Alabama. I came in there to talk to you, and you know I wanted to talk to you. You run, and then I run, and I hit you, and I knock you out.
Jacques Rougeau. And Jacques, there's a lot of great action taking place. I know a very close friend of yours in the arena this week will be putting on this blindfold. His opponent will be putting on the other, and he'll be stepping into the ring with Mr. Olympia, talking about Robert Fuller.
Well, you know, it's going to be something I think that people have been waiting for, because something horrible has happened to this wrestling profession, and things that just happened. I was in Montreal. I was Canadian champion, and I want everybody to know that I dropped that belt to come down here because Robert and I go back a long time, and especially when he was teaming up with Joe LeDuc, a lot of horrible things happened to him. People turned on him, and people weren't his friend anymore for money reasons and all that. But I just want everybody out there to understand the fact that I was always a close friend of Robert, and I'm always going to stick by him, and I'm always going to be his friend. And now I'd like to show the people about this El Low Blow that's been going on and accepting deals from two people at the same time. You know, when you make a bet, you accept one side of the medal. You can't take two sides. And I'd like to show the people what happened when I promised them that I'd beat him up a little bit.
All right, you are a special challenge match situation against the man who sold out, shall we say. Money of Mr. Olympia certainly had more influence on this man than revenge to Mr. Olympia by this El Lobo.
Well, El Lobo was $5,000 richer because of his turning the coat, so
Exactly.
to speak. Is that why you call him Low Blow?
Oh, I call him low blow. I'll tell you why I call him low blow. It's because in boxing, when you do a dirty shot, you give a dirty shot, they call it a low blow. But what he did in wrestling was another low blow. And you know, you take a man that goes under a hood and cannot see nothing. The guy is blind. I'm talking about Robert. The guy is blind, and somebody comes and beat a guy up that can't see nothing. Well, I just want him to understand something, that I may go ahead and turn his mask around a little bit and ask him how it feels when I beat him up and he doesn't see anything. Because Robert Fuller has been good to everybody here, and I could prove it myself, because I've been here. I was here for a whole year with Robert, and like I said earlier, he went through some rough times with Joe LeDuc, turned on him. A lot of guys turned on Robert, but he's still hanging in there. And I'm going to tell you one thing: if somebody's going to look after him, I will. And Low Blow, I don't care, because tonight I got a lumberjack match in every town and everywhere I want to go. And anytime you want to, Low Blow, I'm going to accept the challenge, where all my friends are going to be standing outside the ring. And every time you go out of that ring, Low Blow, like you did right here, I'm going to show you something, Low Blow. You went on and took a few good shots to me, but when the time was there, we saw who was the man and who wasn't. And I told the people I'd go in there and I'd give him a lesson. And now he just went in there and did what he could, and he saw that he couldn't do enough. And I'm going to show you that I got a lot of reservations in me for that guy, because I got a lot of things to give to people around here and to do, especially guys that accept money from one person and go and double-cross with the other person by taking the money from a guy that doesn't have no defense at all and no friends. So I'm going to give him a few of those that are coming up right there. And I'm going to tell you one thing. He was lucky right there, because I missed it. I'm going to be honest with the people. I missed it, or he wouldn't have been standing up like that. But I'm going to tell you, when I get him in the lumberjack match, when everybody throws him back in the ring, every time he wants to go out, I'm going to catch him with my size 12 in his face. I'm going to bust his nose, take his mask off, and then Mr. Olympia, I'm coming after you, because everybody knows me and Mr. Olympia had some loser leave towns here about a year and a half ago, and Mr. Jerry Stubbs had to take the road because he wasn't man enough to stand for what he did. All right.
I'll tell you one thing, that's one of the prettiest drop kicks I've ever seen, Rougeau, coming off that top rope.
All right, there you see the situation. Best of luck to you in the lumberjack match. And
anytime I get in that ring with Low Blow and I got a lumberjack match, you watch it, because I'm going to give everything I got, Charlie.
We'll be right back with more of Southeastern Television Wrestling.
That's right, brother. Wednesday night edition. Championship night, I think they got 4 titles matches. The one I'm interested in is right here in front of me, the Southeastern title. And I hear Mr. Olympia over there bumping his gums about El Lobo, who they should call El Hobo after Wednesday night, because you're going to see him with a little sack on his back walking down them railroad tracks by the building. See.
All right, Mr. Olympia again making a hasty retreat to the... Whoa. Television main event. Here it is, Dickie. In the ring from Marietta, Georgia, Bullet Bob Armstrong taking on the latest member of the Midnight Express Incorporated.
Mr. 25% of himself, Honky Tonk Wayne Ferris. I'll tell you what, he had a tremendous, beautiful robe on. He looks great. He's in great condition. Let's see what he can do in the ring. He can do a lot of damage.
Honky Tonk opening fire on Bob Armstrong.
Well, he likes that Pier 6 type brawling, and He's picked on the wrong man to pair six with.
The wrong man. Indeed, the wrong man to pair six with, because Bullet Bob can mix it up with the best of them. Oh, good connection to the side of the head by Bob Armstrong again. Armstrong starts using the fist.
Oh, that took him down. He's down, but not out. Don't cut him short. He's part of that. Well, he might be out now. Part of the Midnight Express. The newest member, replacing Norvell Austin, who has dislocated a shoulder. Wayne Ferris going up against the man who's going to be wrestling Harley Race for the world's heavyweight title. Outside the ring, Bob Armstrong and Wayne Ferris. Honky Tonk, Wayne Ferris. Outside is pulled outside by Bob. Oh, man, into that corner. Shoulder throws it back in. Bo's trying to come out and hit him, but he's got him in a sleeper. Oh, my goodness. He caught him with an instrument. Ron Stark caught him with an instrument.
Like a blackjack to me.
1, 2, he's out. He's pinned and he's out. Here come the boys. Scott and Brad to the rescue. They saw it happen, too.
And,
I don't know if you saw it, Charlie, but Ron Stark came in that back room with a one instrument.
looked like a blackjack or something.
God dog it.
Man, I tell you what, we got the boys up in the ring checking over their father. We got to take a commercial break. We'll be right back with more Southeastern Television Wrestling.
We're getting tired of knocking you out. We knocked you out last week. We knocked you out this week. We're going to knock you out the next time and put you in a state of comatose, baby. Because our new man, people thought that Norvell Austin was not going to be here. But I tell you what, he's in the sun, shading, getting him a nice tan back up in old Tennessee up there. And we got a new man right here called Wayne Ferris, Honky Tonk, come in and knocked you out. Knocked you out like a running light.
Tell him about
well,
last
I'm
week,
getting tired. Yeah, last week we knocked him out, too. We're getting tired everywhere we look. Everywhere we look, there's curly hair, big, thick glasses, Armstrongs coming from everywhere. We hope your mama don't have curly hair. We hope your grandma don't have curly hair, because we're getting tired of seeing Armstrongs. I think they cloned them somewhere. We'll bring them on down. Mobile, Alabama. We'll knock your mama, your grandma, your son, your daddy. We'll knock them all out. Comatose from the Honky Tonk Man. Woo!
And, let me just say one thing, Charlie Platt. These gentlemen, what a lot of guts it takes to come out 3-on-1. What a lot of guts. Pulling stuff back, stabbing right and left. Curly hair, glass, that's got nothing to do with it. This is professional wrestling, and the guts they got, you couldn't put in a thimble.
Okay, Brad?
Well, I'm going to tell you, Charlie, it's awful, yeah, like Scotty said, it's awful fair 3-on-1. And I noticed they're awful good at yap slapping, but I wonder how it's going to be when it's 3-on-3 at jaw jacking.
Bob?
Well, I'm just getting real tired.
I can imagine.
Well, people knocking me out, I guess you can imagine. You ought to be on this end, Charlie. You can really imagine. One thing about it, I've been knocked out enough. I'm going to start to do some jaw jacking and knocking out myself. Now, I don't know what they're using. Whatever it is leaving a lot of knots on my head. But it's always a sneak attack. It's like Pearl Harbor in World War II. It's sneak attack. Now, what are they going to do, all these brave boys, when we get to Mobile and they got to be in the ring, all three of them with all three of us, all at the same time, tornado rules with a no disqualification. I'm going to show them how to put knots on some head. I'm going to show them how to jaw jack and back crack, because a Mobile Bullet and the boys will be there.
Certainly we see an irate Bob Armstrong, and rightfully so, because I think the Bullet has taken all he's going to take from the Midnight Express Incorporated. Speaking of Bob Armstrong, that name is a name to be watching, because it's all over the National Wrestling Alliance newsletter for his defeat of Ric Flair for the Southeastern Heavyweight Championship. Bob Armstrong holding on to the title. That means in December it will be Bob Armstrong, not Ric Flair, meeting Harley Race for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, and certainly our congratulations to Bob on that. And this situation with the Armstrongs and the Express heating up even more.
25% goes to Wayne Ferris, and I guess there's a lot of money with this.
Strong, and I'm going to get it one way or the other. I'm going to do some jaw jacking and back cracking.
Honky Tonk, that's what he calls himself, and that's what he displays himself. And I tell you what, he's got a lot of experience in the ring.
And certainly in the arena, Dickie, this is going to be a most interesting situation once again.
I've never seen one.
I've been asked to remind by the Board of Directors of International Sports Incorporated in Southeastern Wrestling, and by Mr. Bob Geigel of the National Wrestling Alliance, that this match, when Robert Fuller and Mr. Olympia put on these blindfolds and wrestle in that ring at the arena, it is non-sanctioned. It is not sanctioned by any governing body of professional wrestling.
Right. Rip Rogers will return next week, and I'm sure Robert Fuller will be on the TV next week also.
And also, we see Jacques Rougeau situation. Jacques coming in to the aid of Robert Fuller is rightfully so. Jacques' friendship and Robert together, very close friendship that goes back a few years. And he has his chance in the arena this week against this El Lobo, the man who sold out to Mr. Olympia for $5,000.
Let me say something. I didn't mean to step on your toes there, but when a man comes out here on TV and he says, this man is my friend, and he has befriended me over the last year, he has never turned his back on me, and I'll never turn my back on him, you can count on Mr. Rougeau to come to Mr. Fuller's aid.
That's right. It's be a lumberjack match, wrestlers around the ring, and they'll be keeping the participants in this match inside, which will be El Lobo and Jacques Rougeau. A lot of action on today's program. Certainly the situation with Super Olympia, I'm sure not over with. He has a score to settle with Mr. Olympia, obviously. And a lot of action in the arena this week. Make your way down. A lot of action next week on TV. We'll see you then.